It sucks the kid's got cancer. Like, it sucks. But do I think that he should be called Marine? No.
Do you drive a lifted pickup truck? Do you wear grunt style t-shirts that threaten murder of civilians on the back? Do you only drink coffee brands that you have to pay $40 extra per bag because there's a rifle on the front of it? Merry Veterans Day for all those that are serving, have served, thinking about serving, I guess. You're talking to a future Army soldier here. And yeah, today's not just about going out and getting your free Starbucks, your free Texas Roadhouse, although I'm going to do that later. It's also a day to reflect. And I think most people are going to reflect on the positives of Veterans Day, but I'm here to bring you the negatives. All right? All right, I'm going to bring you Vet Bros on Veterans Day. Surprise. Open your Christmas gift. It's a 5'4" bald guy with a beard wearing a grunt style shirt. 3 divorces that are not his fault. They were just all fucking bitches. And he works at the SIF issue on base so that he can still have somewhat of a power structure over 19-year-olds. Welcome to Bro Vet episode. Now what all spun this is because there was this kid becoming an honorary Marine who has cancer. And anyone that knows, like, honorary is kind of just like, oh, here you go. Like, it's a nice gesture to have, right? Like as if some kid's dying of cancer and he's like, I want to be a Lakers player with LeBron, and LeBron comes to a shirt, gives him a jersey, and is like, you're one of us. Like, it's sentimental, and that's it, right? Daisy. I don't know if you guys don't come to my live streams on Twitch, you probably don't know, but we have a cat now, and she hates veterans. Don't you unpatriotic? But yeah, giving someone the title is just like a feel-good thing. It's a kid with cancer, right? Like, who cares? This one bald, ugly bro vet threw a stink about it on Instagram in the comments, saying he didn't earn the title. He didn't go through the crucible. No one cares.
I just want to show you all the hate and shit that I've been getting because honestly, like, I think that these people are the ones that probably have the problem and not me. Like, it sucks the kid's got cancer. Like, it sucks. But do I think that he should be called Marine? No.
Congrats on serving, but when you get out of this volunteer service we all signed up for, I'm not saying you didn't make a contribution. I'm just saying the general public doesn't owe you shit. And you're definitely not the gatekeeper of who gets to call themselves a Marine. Imagine having the audacity to think that you have that much pull or that much leverage or anyone gives a fuck about your opinion. We're all strangers on the internet, so take this with a grain of salt because, again, my opinion doesn't matter, but yours definitely doesn't matter. Unless I'm able to type your name into Google and see your Purple Heart Silver Star story, I don't want to fucking hear it. I pray this is like some admin Pogue MOS guy who is just like projecting his insecurities about how he never went recon, SARC, MARSOC, anything. And he's like, well, at least I got the fucking title Marine. And again, as an FMF corpsman, I understand I'm not a Marine, but if you guys think other branches can't pass your boot camp, I'm not saying all of them, it's definitely a harder challenge, but you think these young 18-year-olds that are becoming FMF corpsmen, SWIC, divers, they wouldn't blitz through Marine Corps boot camp? Again, I'm not saying it's not an accomplishment, but stop acting like other people couldn't just fucking do that too. And I bet if the kid didn't have fucking cancer, he would go through it, do his 4 years, and not come out a douchebag bro vet denying kids of cancer to get an imaginary title. I just gotta get this bro vet shit out of my mouth. And what better way to get stuff out of my mouth than with soap? If you guys didn't know, I actually own, with my wife, a soap and candle company. All organic soap, good for your skin, good for babies, good for old people, good for my 2 pets that are trying to spy on my neighbor in base housing. We are running a Veterans Day sale because my whole channel, my whole thing is just being military centric, military community centric. And if you want to use VET30, you'll get 30% off your entire order. Go check it out, coldpressbricks.com, link in description. Why couldn't you just be one of the cute vets who like wears their hat around, tell story about their time in, sees young service members and be like, I remember back in my day, we used to have that too. All right. Not the back in my day, you wouldn't make it. You're a bunch of pussies. Newsflash, you're old, decrepit, and out of shape. These young Marines would beat the shit out of you. Bro vets need to be humbled, dude. I'm gonna set up an MMA promotion where it's me lined up against people with fucking grunt style t-shirts. The whole card. I'm on the undercard, the prelims, through the main event. It's just me fighting these fucking bro vets. Requirement, you have to own 2 things of grunt style or 9-line apparel. Babe, what are those tactical pants that people buy? 5'11". I know a bunch of people in my chat just got triggered. They look down at their pants and they're like, fuck. I have a personal bro vet story to tell you guys, right? When I was young, fresh in the military, I was a medic at this clinic, right? And the nurse civilian used to be a corpsman, switched over to lieutenant commander as an RN, right? So he went from like E3 to O4, became a nurse, got out. And you know what he does still? He bought specialty made camo scrubs and then wears a lanyard that's like our camo colored. At the time in the Navy, we were still wearing blueberries. And then he would put a lieutenant commander pin on the lanyard, so he's not like breaking any weird stolen valor shit. Not that it would be stolen valor, like he raids his uniform, but you're fucking out, right? You're working a civilian job at a military base, so it's confusing. You shouldn't be wearing a rank if you're out. Camo scrubs, military name tapes. It would say RN, his last name, as like a tape. Like a fucking army rip-off tape. It was cringe as fuck. And you wanna know what else to top it off? We were working in an immunization clinic. You don't even need scrubs. And on top of that, guess what he wore as his fucking shoe apparel? Most people would say tennis shoes. If I'm wearing civs in the clinic, tennis shoes, comfortable, on the go, firm. Nope, combat boots. He would go buy serviced issued combat boots, not even like the cool Nike ones you can get off brand, like the Bates shit you get in boot camp, he was wearing. So every fucking recruiter, A-schooler would come in here and they'd stand at attention, good morning, sir, and I'd cut them off. I'd cut them off every time. This was one, let me preference this. He was the most toxic piece of shit, racist, misogynistic man you've ever met in your life. He didn't believe women should be in the military. He was openly racist against people of color. He would snake these E3s behind their back by going directly to the XO of the hospital for minor things. Preference this piece of shit. So these E3s, these student house kids would come in, good morning, sir, and I'd cut them off. I was only a fucking third class at the time. That's an E4 if you're not in the Navy. I'd cut them off and be like, he's a civilian, don't do that. And it would trigger him. You could see his eyeballs about to pop out of his head. Towards the end of my stay there, we used to almost get in fist fights. I would have killed this old man. But because he had that power rank structure in his head from his glory days, he always viewed me as lesser and not as like a peer. You're a civilian. This dude used to bitch openly when he was losing court cases with his second wife about her getting more alimony. And me and the other fucking HNs in the clinic used to just laugh out loud when he would tell us his miseries. He was insufferable to be around. Me and my friends were just giving each other Charlie horses behind a closed door, little E3 shenanigans, just punching each other in the leg, like softly. He emailed the XO, the executive officer of the hospital, mind you, he's a civilian, not minding his own business, and said we were fist fighting in front of patients. What? And the moral of the story is, don't have a micro penis, don't become a bro vet, be one of the cool vets who's kind to lower enlisted, who tells inspiring stories about when they were in, not wearing a shirt that says vet or in, no one to fuck with. Badass motherfucker. And then some 14-year-old kid beats your ass outside of 7-Eleven.